This is actually the floor plan. This is the aerial view site plan, if you will, that they presented last night to McCordsville. And this is a work in progress. This is not anywhere close to being completed. But you can see on the screen, if you're watching this on your computer, you might want to go full screen with this so you can actually see a little more detail than what you might be able to see in a small 300 pixel wide box. But the left hand side of this, you'll see there's all trees and it says undeveloped, and there's a wooded area just to the left of it. This right hand part, which is right in here, is the vineyard. And the vineyard is what you see now. This area to the right, and this is actually kind of being flanked over here by West 900 North, which is 86th Street if you just go into Hancock County. This is actually going to be a winery. They're actually going to not just sell wine, but they're going to actually produce wine from their own vines and maybe elsewhere. Host receptions, do all kinds of things there. And then you look at this building on the north end up here. This is going to be a storage barn. This will probably be the first building that they build because they can actually start putting some of the stuff that's out there now next to the road on Carroll.
Right.
Start storing that stuff. You're not leaving golf carts out every night. And this is kind of the part that a lot of people are excited about. A boutique hotel, 20-room hotel, right there in the corner of the property. And just kind of give you a little bearing on that. This property is wooded on that south end, right off of that 900 West 900 North, whatever they call it. That whole end is all wooded. There's a creek that runs through there, and the beauty of that is they're going to leave all that intact. They're going to build this winery just to the north of that. So from the road, you'll be able to see a winery. You'll be able to see maybe a little bit of parking area. Definitely see the vineyard. But then kind of tucked away in the back will be that storage building and then a little hotel back in the corner. And I think that's going to be a huge boon.
Well, and I think once that's complete, that'll just be such a great draw out here. At least it should be, because it's unique.
It is.
I mean, very unique. Again, not only did they do something different with that 80 acres, it wasn't 260 homes per acre.
An apartment building.
That's right.
Or a campground for wigwams or something.
Campground as a KOA. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
yeah.
But yes, this really ultimately will give just even that more cachet to this whole area out here.
Yeah.
But what a really cool place for everybody that's here once it's done. When you have people in from out of town.
Oh.
You're not trying to figure out, well, where do we go? Do we go to Castleton for dinner? Do we do this? We do that? No. You head over here.
Right. And this is now I want to show you kind of an elevation. This is the winery building from the north. So as you look, from the winery itself or from the vineyard itself and look south, this would be the elevation drawing that they presented last night. And you'll notice it's a very long building. It's 2 stories tall. There's actually a basement as well, a wine cellar. You can see the storage door off to the left over there. This is more of the kind of the shipping and receiving door.
Is that tower where Quasimodo would be?
Yeah, I think there's a bell tower in place in the plans. I'm not sure if that'll get scrapped at the last minute, but yeah, that's part of it. But this will be kind of the retail end of it, where the receptions can be and all those kinds of things. It's just a neat building. And one of the things they talked about last night, they asked Dan Cook. He was there with 3 other guys, and they're more the developers, the guys kind of going to build this facility. And they were asking about the materials and all that, and they were talking about a terracotta roof. They had stone, there's brick. They had some pictures from a calendar, which I thought was kind of odd. They carried on this little calendar that was folded to a certain page, and it was a calendar of wineries. And one of the pictures was this stone-looking winery with the terracotta roof, and it was just magnificent. This is not going to be your track home 2x4 construction. This is going to be a heavy-duty looking winery.
So it's not going to be built out of sticks and drywall?
Most likely not.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this is the other elevation, really just kind of mirroring the north elevation. So if you look at it from 86/900 west north, or whatever that road is, this would be what you'd see. I don't think you'll see a whole lot of this from the road. Now this is 2 stories tall, but there's so many trees along there. I think this is really going to be well disguised from the road. So I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of visibility from the road, other than just the vineyard. And actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that building next door to me.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just a cool building. So actually, I posted some videos up to YouTube, and I'll put them on live stream as well. If you guys are interested in seeing some small clips I took last night at that town meeting, the McCordsville Town Hall right now is a double wide trailer, and
Why wouldn't it be?
well, but they're working on it. They're actually building a new one. I mean, they really are the next evolution.
Well, they may have the tax base soon to support that.
So obviously they're in favor of all
Yes,
this.
I would think so.
But the other big news last night. Actually, I couldn't go to this meeting because I had two other meetings last night. But Fishers Town Council hosted a special meeting, and yes, they did. They did announce it.
Special meeting, which is bully for them.
But now that Geist is all part of Fishers, now Geist has to be in some voting precinct of some sort for next year's election. The town council elections are next November, so it's a year from next week. And there's a law in the books that says that they have to announce and kind of have those voting precincts ready before this election so they can take place for the next election. So they kind of had to put a hurry up offense to get this thing passed. That's why it was a special meeting. It wasn't because they forgot about it. It's just
Right.
because they kind of found out, hey, we better get this passed before the election. And so, they had a couple issues. This whole big group of 2,000 homeowners from Geist, now part of Fishers. They've done some other annexations since then. And they really had some inequalities in some of those districts as far as voting. They try to keep them all about the same size, so we don't have one mega district and one small one where you can get somebody like Steve King as town council
Right.
president.
We don't ever want that.
Well, I think that message has been heard. But I want to show you now. This is actually the map that was approved last night at the meeting. Again, you may want to go full screen with this so you can see it. But what I'm going to show you here with the highlight, this blue area here, which is district number 6. This is the new district. This was not here before, obviously, because Geist wasn't part of Fishers. But this was actually district last night and approved by the town council as the new district in Fishers. Now, Fishers can only have 7 town council members in 7 districts. They can't go any bigger than that. So they had 7 before, so they took 2 districts and kind of wove them together, which is Dan Hinkey's and the new guy that just replaced Charlie White. Their districts are now the same, so it's possible they'd have to run against each other next spring in the primary to see who might represent the Republican ticket, and in Hamilton County, who's going to be the representative from their district. For the Geist folks, it's a wide open ballgame. I mean, it could be anybody.
And in this newly created district, obviously, anyone that meets the filing deadline can run for one of these town council seats, correct?
Exactly, and the other qualifications, they have to live in that district.
Right.
Which, don't ask Charlie about that, but you got to live in your district.
Yeah, he
before you
wouldn't
can
be the
run.
expert on that. But so we've got a new district, okay?
New district.
In Fishers, and 2,000 plus homes that were in calling that Geist. Those were the formerly unincorporated areas of Hamilton County that are now part of Fishers. So next year at this time, there's going to be an election, and there'll be 7 council seats versus 6.
Right. And that's Grady just chiming in to let us know that he just woke up.
Yeah, he's saddened by the fact that we don't have him as a guest today. We'll have to do that another.
You know what that is? It's every time you mention Fishers or
He barks.
he barks because of the whole annexation thing. He's still scarred from that.
He is. It was a great trauma.
So, Grady, hey, be a good boy. Nobody's going to come hurt us. Mr. Faultless is actually a nice guy, so just sit down and take it easy. But that's kind of skinny on that whole thing. The other thing is you got 7 town council seats. You got one of them that will be represented by Geist. What can one person do on a town council of 7?